Welcome back to the Realistic Cattle Ranch Challenge on Sunshine Forest. I'm BP, and it's time to get to work. We made it to September, guys, and it is time to get some pallets loaded and sold. We got that last batch of TMR made up. We got the calf igloos all topped off. We got the animals moved wherever they needed to be. We are back in need of moving animals again today. We have some more heifers that need to go into the breeding pen. So we'll get to that in just a minute. But most importantly, we had a quick discussion last episode about the wheat field and whether or not our Great Plains seeder would direct drill, and it does not direct drill. So that was going to be a problem. So I did some looking between episodes at the options. We could pick up a cultivator. There were a couple that weren't too bad. But I found the Massey Valtra seeder pack on ModHub that has a better working width and does direct drill as well. So we picked up a new seeder to get that done. And in doing so, we sold our existing Great Plains for about $27,000. And I think the new seeder was $6,000. So we pocketed some money on that one, got a better working width, and don't need a cultivator, which will be good because we are not an arable farm. We're not here to get all that stuff done. We're here because we want to raise cattle, and having to do all the extra arable work is not top on our priority list. So grabbing the leash here real quick. I know we have a couple of animals, at least one that is eligible right here. Slow Queen can be moved. There's that one's still pregnant. Beautiful Liberty can be moved. So let's move selected to the trailer. And let's run these over to our breeding pen. Go ahead and put them in. We did have several animals get pregnant overnight, so we'll take a look in here. I think we had two that did not, so Queen can move back over. Rogue's our bull. Silver is pregnant now, and then we have our water buffalo bull. So we'll move these two ladies back over to the birthing barn. I think there was one more animal that needs to be moved back over. Let's take a quick look at that. I think it was one of the water buffalo. Yeah, no suitable animal. Yep, so there we go. So we have all the animals basically where they need to be. Nope, no need to throw the leash there, guy. It'll be okay. And get Wild Eye moved on over. What a funny name. So that is all done. Leave the leash over here by the water. And no new calves. I think we're due for a couple next month. I did go through our birthing barn, and we actually had two calves that we bought in a previous episode that were ready, that were, you know, calves 1 or 2 months old. So we moved them into the igloo as well. So we have 3 of them over here keeping each other company. And we'll run up to the shop real quick, get this stuff sold. Let's see. I did some landscaping, put in a gravel path over there, some trees and shrubs, did some grass around here, opened this up. You can see over there on the right, just behind the truck, we moved the water spigot back to this side to make this sort of the main cut through around the greenhouses. And there is our new case planter, ready to go, looking good. That may actually not even be the case, the Massey Valtra mod. It's not. So I downloaded that one and the case. That's what it was. The Massey Valtra one did not have as wide a working width, so we went with the case. So I'm going to run this up to the store. We've got a purchase to make up there. I'll see you guys soon. We are here at the shop. Let's check and see where the lettuce has the best price. It is back at the sell everything in the corner. We can get there for sure. So today's purchase, we need to find a manure spreader, which will also, because of the crossover mod, allow us to do lime. So I'm thinking we're going to get lime on our wheat field as well as manure when the time comes. So there we go. Made a couple grand on those. So let's jump into the store. As always, start with the sale and see what we find. And if not, I've got a couple of good options. So starting at the bottom with the new stuff, 29,000. That's a huge manure spreader, way bigger than we need. The John Deere square baler. That's a nice piece of equipment. We're not doing square bales. Don't need the Kubota. A couple plows, a couple huge tractors. We have the precision farming sprayer. The K brand planter. I think a lot of this stuff we're getting back into. Now some of this is still new. Let's see. I think, yeah, now we are officially back in. So like we have this like, you know, cultivator here that we could have used on our wheat field, but it's $25,000. And that's just, we're just not making that much money. So let's look at a manure spreader. Slide down to the yield improvement section. And I downloaded actually three mods. I got this Hogdorn or Hodgdorn off of a modder site. This is a super cool mod, very detailed, looks really, really good. $52,000, not something that we're going to be able to purchase today, but maybe we work up to something like that. So I've got the John Deere Model 34, holds 6 meters of manure or lime with an 8-meter spread. Nice and cheap at $32.50, but the Strublitz or the Stroutman is upgraded. It has a 12.5 meter capacity and works at 6.5 meters wide. So it's a slightly smaller working width, but holds a lot more. And I think because we're going to be doing lime with it as well, I think it's definitely worth getting the bigger capacity. So that takes it up to $46.50. Comes stock with BKT tires. $800 for wider tires. I guess we're skipping that. And then we have red or galvanized. What does, oh, I think it's this front piece. So for $4,600, I think this is the way to go. We'll get the lime put down on the field and increase our wheat yield, which will help. And then we will also be able to start spreading manure on our grass fields and everything else. So that is going to be a big improvement on our yield. And we'll, you know, the wheat, we don't care so much about the yield, but the grass will start making a big difference. We'll get more per cut once we can get everything done. I also think we should buy, I don't know how much lime. I always feel like should just buy a boatload of lime because you go through it so fast. Our fields are not very big, so I don't know. We'll buy, I mean, it's $3,600 for 8 of them. I feel like, you know, if we have it and we need it again later, it'll be okay. So 8 bags of lime, plus I think we have 2 of the pallets back there already as well. All right, so I'm going to get this stuff loaded onto the trailer. You guys have seen me use the telehandler enough. You don't need to watch me practice anymore. But I will catch up with you guys when we are back at the farm and we come back up here with the animal trailer and get some more animals. So we'll be back shortly. We are back on the farm, guys. It occurred to me after I started loading up the lime that I could put most of it into the lime spreader and not have to handle the bag. So only put 2 in the back because we were full otherwise. And then besides that, I went ahead and got the rest loaded in there, which helped out quite a bit. All right. What is making all that racket over here? It's almost like the greenhouse is getting watered, but it isn't. So no big deal. All right, I think the next step is going to be to get this wheat in the field. I'll go ahead and throw this on a time lapse for you guys, and then we'll come back with the lime spreader after that, and maybe even talk about spreading some manure depending how much we have. So I will see you guys when we're done. That's a wrap on the wheat planting, guys. This case planter was a joy to use. Not only was it wider than our other planter, our old one, but it also, I think the working speed was like 11 miles an hour, which was, I want to say the old one was maybe 7 or 8. It just felt so much better having that extra working speed and the extra working width. A really nice planter, really nice seeder, and we can do fertilizer, and if we ever needed to, I don't think we will because we have the cow manure coming out now, but just glad to have that done and have that new piece of equipment on the farm. Let's get the liming done so we can get back up to the store and check and see what's going on with the livestock this month. So let's see if we can get up here and get connected. Great. Pop out. We gotta go release the straps on everything. Also release the straps on the truck. Get those bags out of here one way or the other. We put them in here or use them for something else. Alright. Our first lime application of the series. Do we have to unfold this thing? Okay, so we do unfold it. Okay, so it works just like a manure spreader. Got it. And do we turn on? Let's see. Unfolded. Deactivate automatic application rate. We're good with that. Turn on manure spreader. All right. Away we go around the outside. Let's see how far 12,000 liters of lime make it. We always go through lime really, really fast. So, not going to hold our breath, but we're hopeful that we're going to get at least most of it all the way around. We have 2 spare bags, so 4,000 liters in the bed of the International. And we have, I think, 2 pallets of lime from our one of our initial purchases. There was some in the sale. Try to pick up lime and seed whenever we see it in the sale, because there's just, you're always going to need it, and why pay full price for it if you don't have to. So, this is not going too terribly well. Well, I mean, we are burning through it. We're almost 2,000 liters down. And haven't made it all the way around the headlands yet. That is a very narrow working width. But we're getting it. It'll be alright. So let's get up here. Alright. Flip it around. Gotta get this little spot on the outside here that we missed the first time getting set up. Then we'll go in reverse order around this way. I think we're going to go through probably all of our lime and then some if we really want to get this field totally done. We might just lime whatever we can and call it good enough. We should get lime on the grass fields, because that will make a significant difference in our yield, and that's what our cows are eating between hay and silage. We still have a couple grass bales, but they're not eating much of that anymore. You know, that's our bread and butter. That's where we're going to make and save the most money, is if we can get more out of each cutting of the grass, we'll be in good shape. So probably going to run back up to the store at some point and pick up a lot more lime so we can get a base coat on all of our fields. This is not going too terribly. We are working our way down. Get that turned off. I think one more loop around the outside, and then we'll maybe try some ups and downs. I want to get a head count on our cattle here probably by the end of the episode today, sort of see where we are in regards to numbers. You know, my guess is we're gonna have the 300 cattle necessary for the challenge long before we're gonna have the $4 million. I think the $4 million is going to take a lot more time than the 300 cattle. And that's fine. You know, the expectation is we can sell some of the cattle too to make money. So sometimes, you know, just having cattle that we're raising and feeding and taking care of and are eventually going to get sold back is, you know, that's one of our sources of income once that starts happening. So just want to get an idea of, you know, sort of where we are on the numbers. We have a number of calves set to be born relatively soon here. I think we're going to have 9 to 12 calves in the next couple of months, which will be great news for us. So that'll help our cattle holdings as well. Oh, missed a little spot there coming back at it. That's okay. But yeah, I think getting a good assessment of where we are. We are going to keep buying animals, but we don't want to just spend all of our money on cattle for no reason. You know, we want to buy the right cattle. And as of right now, we've been sort of indiscriminately purchasing, whether they're dairy animals or whether they're beef cattle, just to keep animals on the farm. And I don't think we're going to get away from one or the other, but we may end up with like a milking barn. We may end up with a beef cattle pasture or barn. We just sort of got to start making a plan here. And I know we just put in another pasture and the 2 igloos last episode, and we're already using those, and that's great. You know, I do expect when we're all said and done with this playthrough that we're going to, you know, probably have 7, 8, 9 barns enclosures to get everything going and keep things moving. You know, we're not just going to put them all in one big pen and, you know, set them loose. We want to sort of manage and make sure that everyone's getting everything they need, and there's no reason to feed TMR to our bulls because they're not producing any milk. We really don't even need to be giving, the bulls can be surviving on hay, which is by far the easiest thing for us to make. Whereas our dairy cows or our, you know, pregnant heifers, when they give birth and they're producing milk, you know, we want to be getting the most out of that we can. And I don't think, you know, I have to double check the mod, but I don't think the beef cattle, the Limousine and the Angus, are going to produce milk when they have offspring. So if that's the case, even having them in the birthing barn with the TMR doesn't make sense, because we're not going to get any milk out of them. So we'll have to check that. I think we have a couple of those animals getting ready to give birth in the next couple of months. But, you know, if we need to have a completely separate sort of beef barn and then a milk barn, well, by all means, we should make that happen. So that was not bad with the lime, guys. We got that down. We still have 3,700 liters left, which is nice. I have a little bit of that spot on the way out. All right, that worked out quite well. The working width is a little narrower than I'd like, but, you know, that's, beggars can't be choosers. Let's grab these 2 bags of lime out of the bed of the truck. I think we should be able to get lime on at least one of the grass fields of what we have left. I'm thinking our number 2 grass field over here is going to be a bit smaller, so maybe we just fill that one up, or we put lime on that one when the time comes. But for now, let's go ahead and get this tucked into the barn. Don't want our lime sitting out in case it rains. Nice and easy. Nailed it the first try. Never a doubt. Okay. So, next order of business is going to be getting up to the shop and checking out what livestock is available there. So, I'm going to get this trailer parked a little better and sort of out of the way. I'll grab our animal trailer, and I will see you guys up at the dealer. We are up at the animal dealer. I did grab 2 more bags of lime from the shop on our way by. Maybe picking up a few of those every trip up here just to try to keep the supply on the farm in good order. But let's jump in and see what kind of animals we have. Average, very bad, very bad. We'll skip those. This Holstein is very good, 14 months old, could go right into the breeding pen. That could be a good animal for us, probably mark that one. This one looks to be even better and is 13 months old, so we'll take that one. Good, very bad, good, we'll skip. A bull named Magic, that's funny. Let's see, good, very bad. We've lots of Angus bulls. Look at all those Angus bulls, guys. Limousine, not much to see there. Water buffalo, here's a very good water buffalo. And it was a selection was slim today. So by select, we bought 3 animals, guys. Not a whole lot, but we'll take what we can get. Run these guys back to the farm, and I'll see you guys there. Back at the ranch, guys. I did leave the Fiat in a terrible spot, but that is okay. So let's grab the 2 Holsteins that are ready. We actually come in here and... Okay, so we can rename them, it looks like, after we move them. So these 2 are going to go into the breeding pen. We'll come down here. This is a new one for us, Faye, and we are in September of year 2. And then Sadie, we are in September of year 2. All good, all done. Right back. We don't need to do anything more with that. Let me jump out here and let's get the Fiat moved out of the way. Fiat is looking like it's putting in work. Lime all over the tires, dirt all over the tractor. It's a hard-working tractor. Alright, back over to the truck. Swing the corner here. And we'll drop a little further. There we go. Drop this guy off. Move to husbandry. Excellent. Where did he go? Right here. Rename. Sleepy Molly in September of year 2. That is good news. Let's just for fun, let's see if we can go get some milk. I think it's going to be just the tiniest bit of milk. I don't think it's going to be anything to even, write home about or get excited about or anything else. But we should have milk, so let's go check out and see if we can get some out, because we haven't gotten any milk out yet, guys. We're in year 2 and just getting to our first batch of milk here, so we got to sort of back in around these doors. Kick it over. 140 liters of milk. We're taking it. It's not going to get us very far, but we do have milk being produced on the farm. That is good news, exciting news. And once the rest of the animals give birth, we will be in much better shape in regards to the milk. So let's check on our animals as we wrap up today. It was a good episode for September. So jumping into the menu, we have our birthing barn. We have two pregnant water buffaloes, 20 and 40%. We have the new adolescent we just picked up. Misty was the first heifer we had to give birth. She gave birth to Uno, who's over in the igloo. She's still in recovery. We have Silver, who's 10 months or 1/10 of the way through gestation. Now, Loud Bossy is going to have 3 babies tomorrow. Nirvana is pregnant. Haka is pregnant. Choco is pregnant. Okay, Sprinkles is going to have 3 babies tomorrow. So that's 6 babies in October, guys. Let's see. Sweetie is pregnant. That's going to be 7 babies next month. Patches is still pregnant, has a couple more months to go. And then in regards to the Angus, Light is 80% of the way there. Bubbles 60, Shadow 40, and Queen 10. So we could have 7 babies on the farm tomorrow, which would be crazy. So breeding pasture, we have our water buffalo bull, 1 water buffalo female. We have a limousine, 2 Holsteins we just dropped off, and a brown Swiss. Our Angus bull and 2 Angus heifers that are waiting to get pregnant. So we have a lot of animals looking to get pregnant. The 1 calf igloo is empty. The other one has the 3 babies, the 2-month-old water buffalo, the 1-month-old limousine, and the 3-month-old Angus. They're doing well. They have lots of food, lots of water. Our chickens are growing well, and then our livestock pasture has Admiral, our second best water buffalo bull. He's a perfectly fine animal, but our other bull is a higher quality, so we want him breeding with all the rest of the cows. So guys, that was a great episode for September. Got the wheat back in the ground. Love the new planter. Excited that we got lime down. I think we're going to be ready to cut this grass. It might be ready right now. Let's see. Yeah, this looks, let's see, pop up. That looks like that might be truly ready to harvest or ready to cut. So maybe I'll cut the grass between episodes and put lime down on this field. The other one we cut last month, so it won't be ready. And then we have our wheat in the ground here. Our pH value looks good. Our nitrogen, we have none, but we're going to start getting some manure out of the birthing barn. And once we have that, we'll put that into our manure spreader and we will spread it and get the pH up on that to increase our score, our environmental score as well. We have 3,962 liters of manure. So maybe we'll give that 1 more month, and next month in October, we'll spread some manure as well. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications for more videos, and we'll see you in the next one.